When we talk about transporting horses, we immediately think of adapted trucks, long roads, and all the special care the animals need. But what if I told you there's an airplane capable of carrying, at once, more than 80 elite horses, valued at millions of dollars, with all the comfort of an executive jet? Well, the name of this aircraft is Airhorse 1, and it is the dream plane of the equestrian world. I remember the first time I heard that name. I thought it was a joke. But the more I researched it, the more impressed I became. This giant of the skies belongs to the company, Ainchi Tech's Sutton Forwarding Company, one of the most renowned companies in the air transport of thoroughbred horses. And the nickname Airhorse 1 is a direct reference to Air Force One, the presidential plane of the United States, except in this case, the VIP passenger is a racehorse, or rather, dozens of them. The Airhorse 1 is a true fortress in the skies. Every detail has been carefully considered to ensure that the animals travel with as little stress as possible. The cabin pressure is controlled, the temperature is precisely adjusted, and there's even a special ventilation system to keep the air always pure. Inside, the horses travel in individual, safe, and comfortable stalls, as if they were in their own stables, only flying at an altitude of 10,000 meters. And the most incredible thing is that during the flight, there are veterinarians and handlers on board, monitoring every movement, every breath, every heartbeat of these millionaire athletes. After all, any variation in the well-being of a racehorse can mean the difference between glory and defeat on the track. This is just the beginning of a fascinating journey behind the scenes of air transport for elite horses. In the next segment, I'll show you how the Airhorse 1 is prepared inside and how these animals come aboard like true stars of the equestrian world. When I first saw the interior of the Airhorse 1, I was speechless. Nothing there resembles the cargo compartment of a regular airplane. The space was completely redesigned to accommodate horses with the same care given to designing a first-class cabin. Every detail was thought out to offer safety, comfort, and stability during the flight. The stalls, called stalls. These carriages are modular and can be configured for 1, 2, or even 3 horses side by side, depending on the size and temperament of each animal. The most valuable horses, usually racehorses or breeding stock, travel alone in individual stalls, surrounded by padded walls, with non-slip flooring and a cushioning system that reduces the impact of turbulence. It's impressive to see how these giants of the air manage to create such a calm environment, even at thousands of meters of altitude. Before takeoff, the loading process is quite a spectacle. A special ramp is carefully positioned at the rear loading door, and the horses ascend one by one, guided by experienced handlers. Everything is done silently, with as little noise as possible, because any loud sound or sudden movement can startle a high-performance horse. As soon as the animal enters the stall, the door is locked and padded, ensuring complete stability. Inside, the climate control is worthy of a laboratory. The temperature remains constant, generally between 15 and 18 degrees Celsius, the ideal range to avoid heat stress. Air circulates through special ducts that filter impurities and regulate humidity, maintaining a consistently cool environment. Furthermore, there are sensors that continuously monitor oxygen levels, ensuring that the horses breathe comfortably from the beginning to the end of the journey. During the flight, veterinarians and caretakers are on standby. They have access to narrow corridors that allow them to observe each horse, check feeding, hydration, and even administer medication if necessary. It's almost like an air ambulance for elite athletes. Some professionals even say that Airhorse 1 is the 5-star hotel in the heavens. And that's no exaggeration. The most curious thing is that, despite all this structure, the plane maintains the appearance of a regular cargo plane on the outside. But inside, it's pure precision engineering, where every centimeter serves a purpose, protecting the investment and, above all, preserving the well-being of the horse. And believe me, there's a reason for this level of care. I'll tell you about it in the next segment. How much does it cost to fly on Airhorse 1? And why only the world's wealthiest owners can afford to put their animals aboard this jewel of the skies? If you think traveling by private plane is expensive, it's because you haven't heard the cost of transporting a horse on Airhorse 1. Each flight is a multi-million-dollar operation, and only those at the top of the equestrian world can afford this luxury. I confess that when I found out the prices, I was shocked. Transporting a single horse can cost between $15,000 and $30,000 per leg, depending on the distance, destination, and veterinary services required. But the price isn't just for the flight itself. It reflects a whole elite logistics. Even before the plane takes off, the horses undergo a rigorous screening process. Complete veterinary exams, vaccination checks, quarantine, and international documentation are just the beginning. Any failure in these details can prevent boarding, and every delay is costly. Very costly. The owners of these horses know they are transporting true genetic treasures. Racehorses like these thoroughbreds rare. Arabian and Olympic show jumping horses, such as these, can be worth millions of dollars each. Losing one of these horses due to stress or accident would be a financial catastrophe. Therefore, owners don't hesitate to pay high prices to ensure maximum safety and comfort. Another factor that raises the price is the professional support. On each flight, there is a team made up of veterinarians specializing in air transport, experienced caregivers, and even logistics coordinators monitor the journey in real time. Everything is planned so that the horse arrives at its destination in the same physical and emotional condition in which it embarked. And then there are the invisible but essential details: high-quality fuel, international permits, landing fees, special feed, and transport insurance, which covers very high costs, since each horsepower can represent a multi-million-dollar investment. When you add all of this together, it's easy to understand why the Airhorse 1 is considered a status symbol. In the equestrian world, only the major breeders, investors, and elite trainers can afford to use this service regularly. And the most curious thing is that, for them, it's not a luxury. It's a strategic necessity. A racehorse needs to compete in different countries, and time is money. The airplane is the link that connects success on the track to the preservation of champion bloodlines. In the next segment, I'll take you into the routine of these trips. You'll discover what it's like to load, fly, and disembark these million-dollar horses. A silent spectacle that blends science, discipline, and absolute respect for these incredible four-legged athletes. While most people imagine air travel as something commonplace, for the millionaire horses aboard Airhorse 1, every second is carefully calculated. I was able to closely observe one of these operations, and I confess, it's a spectacle of precision and silence. As soon as the horse enters the aircraft, everything changes rhythm. The noise of the engines is muffled, the lights are adjusted to a soft tone, and the air begins to circulate in a controlled manner. The environment transforms almost into a flying sanctuary. During takeoff, the team remains completely focused. Each handler stays close to the stalls, observing the horse's reactions. It is at this moment that the professional's experience makes all the difference. An attentive look, a light touch, a calm tone of voice, everything is used to keep the animal calm and confident. Some horses even seem accustomed to it, peeking through the small crack in the cabin, as if they know they are about to compete in another important race. Once the plane reaches cruising altitude, the routine stabilizes. The horses are frequently hydrated and fed gradually to avoid digestive discomfort caused by the altitude. There are containers with high-quality hay and fresh water, and the handlers monitor each animal's body temperature with infrared thermometers. It's care worthy of an Olympic athlete. Meanwhile, veterinarians constantly analyze data from the sensors: heart rate, cabin temperature, oxygen levels, and noise. If anything deviates from the norm, the team reacts immediately. And it is this constant monitoring that makes the Airhorse 1 considered the gold standard of equestrian air transport. But the most impressive thing happens during landing. As soon as the wheels touch the ground, there is absolute silence on board. No one celebrates, no one is distracted. Everyone awaits the signal from the responsible veterinarian to authorize disembarkation. The horses descend with the same calm with which they ascended, one by one, guided slowly to the ground. Outside, air-conditioned trucks are already waiting to take them to the stables or competition centers. It's a perfect choreography, where every movement is rehearsed to avoid any risk. And to think that behind this entire operation, there is a simple and noble purpose: to transport the true stars of the equestrian world with dignity and safety. But Airhorse 1 isn't the only one in the game. In the next segment, I'll tell you about it. Who are the competitors? And how is this billion-dollar animal transport market growing worldwide, driven by racing, genetics, and lots of money? Over the years, I've realized that the Airhorse 1 is just the tip of a gigantic iceberg. Behind it, there's a whole billion-dollar global market dedicated exclusively to the air transport of horses, a world where technology, genetics, and prestige blend in an almost secretive way. And it's no exaggeration to say that today, air transport has become essential to the functioning of the modern equestrian industry. Specialized companies operate entire fleets of adapted aircraft, capable of transporting horses from all continents to competitions, auctions, and breeding farms. Besides Airhorse 1, there are other giants like Emirates Sky Cargo, a Qatar Airways Cargo, and to FedEx Charter, which created exclusive divisions for the transport of elite animals. These planes follow strict international protocols, overseen by veterinary organizations and equestrian federations. The growth of this sector is paralleled by the increase in the value of horses. Today, a racing champion or a breeding stallion can easily surpass the mark of $10 million. In international auctions, a simple colt with good pedigree can fetch prices that would leave any investor speechless. And of course, to preserve this investment, breeders and owners spare no effort or resources. What strikes me most is the backstage sophistication companies compete for contracts as if they were Formula One teams. Every detail counts: flight time, animal comfort, quality of the veterinary team, customized routes. There are even concierge services that take care of the paperwork and ground transportation before and after the flight. All so that the horse has the safest and most peaceful experience possible, even crossing entire oceans. And this market continues to grow. With advances in biotechnology, selective breeding and genetic exchange between countries have become a priority. Horses are sent from breeding farms in the United States to farms in Europe, from the Middle East to South America, and vice versa. It's a constant flow of blood, talent, and money. In this context, Airhorse 1 has become an icon. The ultimate symbol of how aviation and elite livestock farming have met in the 21st century. In the next and final segment, I'm going to extend a special invitation to you. Let's reflect together on the impact of all this technology on the agricultural world and prepare you for the next video, where we'll land back on solid ground, on the farms and ranches that are transforming the future of agribusiness. After experiencing the Airhorse 1, I understood that the agricultural world extends far beyond the field. It reaches the sky, literally. This aircraft is not just a means of transportation. It reflects how technology, investment, and animal welfare can go hand in hand. Every detail, from boarding to landing, shows that there is a new era in the relationship between man and horse, where respect and precision are worth as much as gold itself. If you stop to think about it, the Airhorse 1 is a symbol of everything that modern agribusiness represents: efficiency, innovation, and a vision for the future. The equestrian sector moves billions of dollars a year, generates jobs, develops genetic research, and keeps alive one of humanity's oldest partnerships, that of man and horse. Seeing these animals crossing oceans safely and comfortably shows how much the field has evolved. But at the same time, this grandeur reminds us where it all begins: on the land. It is on the farms, ranches, and breeding farms that the true heart of agriculture beats. It is there that the champions who one day board that legendary plane are born. And it is also there that thousands of producers work every day to feed the world, preserve animal genetics, and keep rural tradition alive. So if you've made it this far, I invite you to continue this journey with me. Next video on the Celebrities Farm channel. We're going to come down from the sky and return to the ground to meet the most impressive farms and ranches on the planet, places where technology and a passion for the countryside meet in a unique way. So go ahead and enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a like, because the content coming up will show you that agriculture has no limits, neither in the sky nor on earth. I am Juninho Melo, and this was the story of Airhorse 1, the plane that transports $85 million horses at once. See you in the next video, straight from the farms that are changing the course of modern agribusiness.